Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. We are here for European Race Night Division 2, Round 11, here at the circuit Spielberg. We are here in Austria, and I am really looking forward to it myself. It's one of those tracks here that it can literally throw up anything, and anything can happen, basically. But it is Austria, it is Division 2. Division 2, one of the most exciting grids that we have, and one of the most closest grids that we have on throughout the entire league of European Race Night, and I'm really looking forward to this one especially. I'm Dame Zero, your league commentator, alongside me, Mr. ERN. Gibby, how are you doing today?
Yeah, I'm doing good today. Looking forward to this one. Austria always brings up good overtaking, and Div 2 is always so close and feisty, so you should see some good overtakes today.
Yeah, we definitely should. I'm really looking forward to this one. We saw yesterday with Division 1, it was a wet race here in Division 1 yesterday, which cooks up a few unsuspected surprises, shall we say. We saw Bruno Will absolutely dominate the field in the wet with, I think it was at one point, a 30-second gap he had here in the race. But it's going to be interesting to see what it will cook up in the dry. So we got a dry qualifying for now. It's exactly what we had for Division 1. Yet to see a weather report from anybody. I'll have to quickly just check that. Okay. Oh, we do have, Gibby, another wet race.
Great.
Now,
yeah,
I don't know if it's full wet, and I don't know if it's just into weather, but I have been told it is a wet race. Skeefy's about to come set his first qualifying time. So I now imagine, Gibby, it's going to be soft for everybody, get the best qualifying position you possibly can, and move on from there.
Yeah, that's what we had yesterday. I remember when choosing the tyres before qualifying, I went for softer, so I had 4 sets of softs. As soon as I saw it was a wet race, I was super happy with making that decision, just because you know you can burn through them. But yeah, it'll be interesting with the rain in the race, because obviously we'll see probably a normal pecking order in terms of qualifying with the faster guys at the front, but the rain always seems to throw a spanner in the works, and a few guys tend to find some extra pace. I'm trying to remember who, because it definitely throws it on his head. I think Nicky's quite good in the wet, if I remember from previous races. So, and also Nicky's quite good at coming through the grid. So it'll be interesting to see how the Div 2 drivers get on with the wet weather.
Yeah, it definitely will be interesting to see. A Skeefy now is about to hit the second to last corner and invalidates as he cuts it too much. Tries to get in the pits, then backs out going into the pits. A big shame there for Skeefy, just on the second to last corner, just cut that apex a little bit too closely, and that really has hampered that one. Raz has also invalidated his attempt. I think there is Eke Belova, no it isn't, I think it's Darko Wade about starting a lap. The Alpha Tauri of, it'll be D6W, has just started his lap, so the next person across the line will be Skeefy's teammate of ERN Storm, just going into the last corner, gets that nicely and invalidates it on the exit of the final corner. That's a big shame for himself there. Atelli, I think, is the next person across the line who set a lap but invalidated. Not a lap yet. Many drivers crossed the line but no laps yet. TVAG has also invalidated his attempt. Raz is not Raz, actually it's a Racing Point, I think, has started the lap.
Starting his lap.
And Mercedes is about to come across the line. There we go. NRC Island sets the first lap time there. Greece is about to come across, start a lap as well. He invalidated his attempt. A lot of invalidations here early on. NRC Island, the only man to, in fact, there goes Christoph with a 1:03.4. NRC Island in second with a 1:04.1. Steffi with a 1:17.9, so must have gone out for another outlap after invalidated. I think Skeefy's just come back round. There goes Skeefy with a 1:10.7. Racing Point now about to come across the line, setting a lap. That's Chelsea. And AlphaTauri D6W, a 1:04.2. The next car across the line, I think, is the other AlphaTauri. Matriz about to set a flying lap currently. And then I think it is a Williams of Atelli who's gone for another lap currently in the final corner. Hits the DRS zone and comes across the line, and Atelli puts it fourth fastest with a 1:04.8.
Yeah, lap time's coming in quick and fast right now, but one thing to note with all these invalidated laps is, I think most of it's happening in that final corner when they're running wide, coming out of there. And what's horrible about that is it invalidates the current lap you're on and the next one you do as well.
Yeah.
So you lose 2 laps when you do that, which is, you know, a massive loss.
Arndt's about to come across the line. Arndt's puts it 4th fastest with a 4.4. Next across the line will be a mistake. I saw a crash there.
Ooh.
It's Skeefy and Breezy. Skeefy and Breezy, as I was flicking through, and he's got a 5-second time penalty for a collision with Skeefy as Breezy. Will Skeefy have the same? Skeefy doesn't. I'm not too sure what happened there. I just caught it as I was flicking through to see the Mercedes come round the final corner, and the next minute, they're both in the barrier. Did you see what went on there, Gibby?
I believe Skeefy just went into the back of Breezy there, so I don't know whether Breezy was maybe just sat on the racing line there, and Skeefy was just expecting him to get out of the way. Because that is very odd, but luckily both cars aren't out of the race.
Yeah.
Or out of qualifying rather. So that'll be a big hit for Breezy, that 5-place grid drop.
That will be a big hit for him. Both Renaults are currently on laps. ERN Ramos is on a lap currently. He's in 12th, not set a lap time as of yet. And LH44 is on a lap now. They're both in the same sector. And Ramos has just hit a purple sector 2 there. I don't know if that's a glitch like Coldmasters always like to give us, but it'll be interesting to see what he can do. He's going in the second last corner, takes that very nicely indeed, and it's about to get it, and he invalidates it. Takes too much at the curb, and that's ruined his attempt there. And so has LH44. So a lot of invalidations here today for Division 2.
Chelsea now coming up to the line, came out the final corner. Not the fastest exit, but didn't invalidate it, and that's P5, so a decent lap there.
Indeed it is. Not many laps, only less than half the grid in fact have set laps so far. A lot of invalidations we have seen, and people now going out for their second runs. We've got ERN Storm, we've got Eke Blober, TBAG, we've got Raz, we've also got Darko Wade and Nicki Minaj all out on out laps as Darko Wade crossed the line and is now starting his hot lap, so he will be the next person to cross the line as I'm aware.
Right, so yeah. But yeah, that instant with Skeefy, really odd one there. I think I caught the tail end of it just before it happened. I just saw Skeefy going into the back of Breezy there, so not entirely sure what happened, but I'm sure there'll be a Stuart inquiry into that one.
Yeah, definitely so. And I just want to talk about Darko Wade and touch on him a little bit. He's the past couple of races, Gibby, I've noticed something with Darko Wade. He didn't have the greatest start to the season, I don't think. But then over the past few races, he's really come into his own. He's been challenging further up the grid. He's definitely been trying to get better positions, more points, and he's really come into his element in the middle of the season.
Yeah, in fact, both Alfa Romeo cars have really picked up their pace, and I think they're just starting to get more grips with the game and just increasing their pace, which is really nice to see. Yeah,
it really is. Darko's about to come across the line, and there we go. Third fastest, so 103.8, only a tenth behind the division leader so far of NRC Ireland. So that's a really good lap from himself. The next person going to be across the line, I think, is a teammate of Eke Blober, who unfortunately is invalidated and is going to come into the pits. I think I can see a Williams back there. It's a Telly on an out lap, and then it's a Ferrari of TBAG, who's currently on a flyer actually, about to hit the last corner. Don't invalidate it, and he hasn't invalidated it. He got that actually quite nicely. DRS enabled, heading towards the line, and he gets third fastest with a 103.7. So both Ferraris very close to each other there, just 200ths of a second separate them two. Ramos comes across the line and does a 104 dead, and now it is going to be the Mercedes, I think. That is of Stephanie setting a lap. No, it isn't. It's going to be Breezy just starting.
Yeah, I think Breezy, I think it's invalidated because this lap is also invalidated, so it must have been in the final corner there.
Yeah, Nicki Minaj comes across the line with a 4.2. Next will be an Alpha Tauri, I think, just starting a lap. That was Latrice.
Yes, into the pits is Steffi, who's run wide out of the final corner and invalidated again.
And that was only on his out lap, so he's got to go for a whole new lap there. So that's a big hit for him there. I think Raz is about to come across the line. Oh, it's Stickman!
Yeah.
Stickman there, so I was just trying to flick on board, so Raz, who was coming across the line, Stickman has lost it. Is that turn 9, Gibby? I think that is.
I think so, yeah, and it's difficult now because he's facing the runway.
He's got to be careful. Oh, there's a Renault. Ooh, hoo, hoo. Was that Renault
just
on a lap?
Bit close for comfort there.
Yeah, it really was. I think that Renault was...
D6W. He will not be happy with that. With Stickman coming back onto the track right.
Oh, he's lost it again.
Go for another spin. Yeah.
In the entry of the pit lane, Stickman, he's going to get out of the way of Storm. Oh, no, this is not good. You've got to get out of there, Stickman. And Stickman has been disqualified from the session for blocking the pit lane. That's a big, big hit there. It went from bad to worse there for the Racing Point. And he is now out of the session and will be starting plumb last here today. So a big shame for him. And we just want to talk to Chris. I think NRC Island, no it wasn't, it was Raz, sorry, has just gone third fastest with a 3.7 giving.
Yeah, noticed earlier on in the session, I think Raz spun in the second to last corner, so was really struggling maybe a bit with balance, but managed to get the lap in there, which is good. One to watch out for now at the moment is Christoph on their second lap now, to see if they can improve on that 3.4, which is an incredibly competitive lap time at the moment.
Oh, in 11th, just invalidated by going too wide into the second to last corner. He's just come across the line, so that's really hampered him. He's had to go out for another lap. I think Breezy's just come into the pits, and Breezy going a bit recklessly through the pits there. That was one way to do it. Eke Blow is just starting a fast lap now, and TBAG is starting a fast. No, it's not. It's NRC Island who's going for another lap.
Just on board with Christoph there, who's just coming up to the final corner, and he just turned in a little bit too early and cut the inside there, so that's 2 invalidations for him. But it looks like he's got the fuel, so I think he's going to have a cool down lap, and there's plenty of time to have another lap in this session. Yeah, I think LH44 is about to come across, and he's invalidated another attempt, so that's a big shame for him. I think there's another race. Is it another Racing Point? Is it Chelsea about to come across the line? It is. It's a 103.7 for Chelsea in 4th position. The Williams of NRC Atelli goes 10th with a 104.1. I think I saw, was that Darko Wade, who's just going out on a lap currently. The Ferrari of TBAG is going out on a lap, and I can see a McLaren just going into the pits there. I think I can see a Haas also, the 2 Haas's both on out laps. Skeevy about to set a lap, and the Salvers come in. Just having a quick look, Ramos is about to set a lap also. I think it is going to be D6W. Is he pitting? Yes, he is. And then it will leave, I think... NRC Island. He's on that lap. I think, yeah, he's just starting a lap now.
He's starting his lap, okay, and then I think it's Storm about to come across the line and setting his lap, and that will leave then, I think Ramos has invalidated his attempt on his flyer, so that's a big shame for him. LH44's pitted, and then it is the other Racing Point of Chelsea, who I think has just set a lap, so he will be coming in too. Next will be a Sauber, and I think it is a Darko Wade. Yes, it is coming through the final corner now. He's not managed to invalidate, so that's very good from himself. DRS enabled. Is he able to improve? He is able to improve, and does a 103.7, keeping up with the... Oh, and there goes TBAG. Straight away smashes that with a 103.5 and puts it into P2. And I think I can see Skeefy now about to come across the line, and Skeefy goes second with a 103.4. Only 0.003 of a second separate him and Christoph.
Yeah, impressive stuff. Christoph finally starting to get some competition in this qualifying session. I was just going to say that 103.7, quite a lot of people doing that, as Island just crosses the line and does a 103.5. Again, putting himself right up at the top there. This is looking so close at the top of the leaderboard at the minute.
It really is looking very, very, very close. I'm just looking, I think everybody's just coming in, and it's that process now, Gibby, of everyone's coming in for the fresher tyres. They're coming in to start their next laps, and it's going to be interesting to see what we're going to have here at the final laps and the final showdowns here in Division 2. Really, that's really, really close between Skeefy and Christoph. I know Skeefy moved back to a wheel as well, so that's a really good lap for himself.
Yeah, impressive stuff there from Skeefy, and it's also nice to see that, like, from looking from P1 all the way down to P8 is about 2.5 tenths roughly.
Yeah.
In terms of time, so it just shows the little margins that can get you a massive gain on this grid.
The Tree's currently just starting his flying lap. He will be the first man to cross the line out of these new sessions. Everyone is still most people are still in the pits. Probably going to come out within the next minute or so for their out laps. He is just under a tenth quicker on this lap. He's got a 104.7 at the minute, but let's see what he's able to do. We'll go on board with him. Gibby, would you like to give us a lap here with Matrice?
Yeah, no worries. Let me just get on board with him. Are we going on board with Matrice, was it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, so don't know what corner number this is, but it's quite a late entry. You want to click the apex here, which he does quite nicely there. Don't want to run it out too wide here. It's easy to invalidate. Hooks it up on the curb nicely there, getting a little bit of that extra rotation there. But he doesn't look like he's pushing too hard at the minute, but this is the key part of the track. You need to really throw it in the second to last corner. Keeps it in 7th, nice high gear. Very smooth actually, in fact, from the trees. And once again, very smooth out that final corner. Looked like quite a nice third sector. And it's going to be a 104.3, so not too bad there from him, but it's going to need to be a little bit quicker if he wants to break into that top 10.
Yeah, and there goes Eke Balova out of nowhere with a 103.439, 1 thousandths of a second, 4 thousandths of a second, Gibby, separate the top 3. That is insane. Eke Balova with a 103.439. Christoph with a 103.440 and Skeefy with a 103.443. That is absolutely insane. We say Division 2 has the closest division here in ERN, and boy are they proving that today. Wow.
Yeah, I mean, only like 4,000 separating those guys. That's incredibly close. It's got to be just that extra millimetre you take on the track that's gaining you that sort of time.
Yeah, that is absolutely insane how close that is. And just looking, I can see a lot of outlaps are being started, and I think the next person crossing the line will be D6W on a lap. Takes that very nicely now into the final corner. Doesn't invalidate on the exit. DRS enabled. D6W, where's he going to put it? Does he improve? He does improve. Oh, and he comes and joins the party himself. He goes aboard to 103.441. So he, oh my goodness, 4 drivers.
What we need is a .442 just to slot in between D6 and Skeefy.
Yeah.
That would truly be incredible if we could get that.
That is actually insane. This is something I have never ever seen before. For me starting commentary, I've never seen this before, ever. How close that is. A 439, a 440, a 441, and a 443. That's actually insane how they managed to put that in there. I'm speechless. That's the word. I am speechless right now. And Skeefy starting his lap, and ERN Storm hasn't set a lap yet. Is now coming around the final corner. Hasn't invalidated this attempt. Comes across the line, and he goes 11th with a 103.7. So manages to get that lap in there, especially after a very hard qualifying there, Gibby.
Yeah, it's really difficult. I was just about to mention that 3 of the cars at the bottom had not set laps yet. I think it was LH, Breezy and Storm, and obviously 2 of them have now set laps as Breezy goes P6. Just on board here with LH.
No!
Let's see if we can get his lap in.
NRC Island invalidates at the final corner. He would have set a 103.6. He probably would have got better if he got the corner right at the last corner. That's really hampered him, so he will be starting down in P8. Next person across the line will be ERN Ramos, currently in 13th position with a 104.10. Is he able to improve on his lap time? He is, and he goes 12th with a 103.8. Next across the line was a Red Bull. There's Nicki Minaj, goes 12th with a 103.7. Next will be a Williams by the looks of it, and I think that was Raz. Next was it a Renault? I think that was off LH44. And Skeefy! He stopped
into P1
with a 103.2, and I do have information he isn't using a wheel today, Gibby. So that might explain it.
I did notice that in the chat. Damn you, Skeefy, ruining our close top 4. Yeah, very good lap from him there.
I just can't believe how close that is. I think the only person now to set a lap is Darko Wade. He's currently in the last corner. How is he going to hit this, and is he able to improve? The Saubers have really been doing well. Can Darko keep up with that? Darko comes across the line. He does go quicker, but doesn't go up. So doesn't move any position, but does improve. So that's a shame for him. But a very, very good close and a great showing here from Division 2 today, Gibby.
Yeah, I must say that's an impressive lap there from Skeefy. Looking at how close it is, so he's just pulled that out of the bag.
There's a lot of debris there. I've just noticed down at the last corner. I just saw a lot of debris and a Williams going very slowly off Raz. I'm not too sure what happened there, but there is a lot of debris on the floor in that final corner.
Yeah, he is missing an end plate there, so as his AI car has just given one of the Renaults a shunt there. But yeah, not sure about that one, but Raz managed to get a good lap there at the end of the session. He was a little bit shaky at the start and having a bit of a spin, but he's managed to get it hooked up by the end, and P5 is quite a nice lap. So Interesting to see whether maybe he came to blows with someone on the track. I didn't see any grid penalties or anything like that, so I don't think he has. Um, but yeah, a bit of a weird one.
Yeah, indeed, a bit of a strange one, but what an insane qualifying we just had. I mean, look how close that is. I mean, we've got to remember, Breezy has a 5-place grid penalty too for the incident that he had with Skeefy. So Skeefy takes P1 with a 103.29. A tenth and a half behind him was Eke Baloba with a 103.4. And then it's Christoph with a 104. This is where it starts getting a bit crazy, Gibby. It's Eke Baloba with a 103.439. Then it's Christoph in third with a 103.440. Then it's D6W with a 103.441. That is actually insane what we are seeing right now. And I think Skeefy was involved in that at first, wasn't he? And then he improved. Am I correct in saying? With
yeah,
that
actually,
close times.
He only really started in the second half of that qualifying to start throwing in times like that. But I must say, one driver who's probably got to be quite annoyed is, despite being P3, is Christoph, because I believe that was the first time he actually set in the session was that time of a 103.4, and then after that it was just invalidated lap after invalidated lap.
Yeah.
So he'll probably feel like he could have done a bit better than that, considering that was only his first lap. But still, P3 a very good position to be in for this race.
Yeah, I'm still getting to credit. I've never ever seen that close of a grid between everybody there. Like, it's I can't get my words out, Gibby, because it's that close. I mean, and then like we got D6W after Christoph, we've got Raz, we've got Breezy, we've got T-Bag, we've got Island, we've got Darko, and we've got Chelsea rounding up the top 10. But all together, from P1 down to P10, and even you can go even further back.
It's P12,
yeah,
half a second separating them. It's not a lot.
It's literally one slight mistake in Division 2 can cost you so many places. It's unbelievable. Yeah,
and I don't know whether this lobby's glitched because we've been sat here looking at the results for quite a while. I don't know quite what's going on here.
I'm not too sure if anybody's pressed A to advance yet, but we do have Stickman who will qualify last, and now with the rain coming, Gibby, that's really going to hamper him, or is it going to help him? Because could he just watch everything from the back, see if any carnage happens, and try and take some avoided action?
Yeah, I mean, it's 50-50 with stuff like that. I mean, on one hand, I'd kind of prefer to be in a position that Stickman's in than, say, for example, Chelsea or Storm, because they're right in the middle of it all,
yeah.
So it's going to be hard for them to sort of try and find that space and get away with a lot of cars behind and a lot of cars in front. Whereas with Stickman, he could just pretty much chill out in the first corner, and no doubt there'll probably be some sort of, well, there's a good chance that there'll be a few incidents and some wing damage, and then he could just pick up the pieces there and then start moving forward in his race.
Just sorry to interrupt you there, Gibby. Have you taken a picture of the qualifying? Because oh no, there we go. Doesn't matter. We've got through. I was gonna say we could be having a lobby restart, but it seems to be advanced now, so we should be okay.
Yeah. Had me worried there. Just quickly grabbing my phone.
So then, ladies and gentlemen, we are here in the wet and windy mountains of Austria, here at the Spielberg track. This track is owned by Red Bull, of course, and it's Red Bull's home race, and I wonder if they're going to put on a show for us today. Got intermediate tyre weather here today, and it's going to be very interesting to see if it can cook up a storm. We've got 3 nice sectors here, 3 DRS straights also, with turn 1 being an overtaking place, turn 3 being the biggest overtaking place, where we saw Lewis Hamilton and Nico Rosberg go for it a few years ago, and we also saw Lando Norris get his first podium position here today. The safety car there is out on track, and I wonder if that's going to play a part in these very unpredictable conditions. But we're here for European Race Night Division 2, and it's live! So, Gibby, your predictions for today?
Well, seeing that Skeefy's now back on the pad in wet weather conditions, I've got to say he's probably the favourite to win, especially being on pole. So I think for me, it's got to be Skeefy in P1. Another couple of drivers who showed quite good pace is, Christoph. I think is looking quite handy out there with only setting that 1 lap and being very quick. But he probably could have went faster than that, so maybe someone there to challenge Skeefy. So I think I'm going to go Skeefy, Christoph, and then I think the other one I'm going to go for is the championship leader of Ireland at the moment. He's a very consistent driver, and he always seems to make up positions in the race. And he's only down in P7, so there's a good chance that he'll make his way up onto that podium today.
Yeah, that's actually quite a good call, I reckon. I mean, I'm just looking now through the race director, so they're all going to be on intermediate tyres, so it isn't a full wet race as we had yesterday in Division 1. But I'm gonna, with my predictions, I'm going to agree. I think Skeefy might take this if he gets a nice clean race and gets a good start on the first lap. However, with the way Eke Balobas and the Saubers have been turning up, I think Eke Balova can keep that P2, or he will drop down to P3 and Christoph will take P2. I think the top three are going to stay the same. However, Eke Balova and Christoph could alternate between second and third.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure if Christoph has had a podium yet this season, but he's always been one of those drivers that is at the forefront of the grid. He's always up there, but just he's never really quite had that luck going his way.
Yeah.
So I'd quite like to see him get a good result today. I think anywhere in the top three, and I'll be very happy for him. But other drivers to look at as well is I think D6W has been very good in the last couple of races. Both him and Ramos very impressive with their pace as well during the race. I think it was Ramos back in Canada nearly sneaking onto the podium, I think snatching P4 by just avoiding penalties. And this track is very prone to picking up penalties, as we saw all those invalidated lap times in qualifying. So it's drivers like that can keep it clean and avoid those penalties could make massive gains at the end. But the fact that it's wet weather racing hopefully will mean that the drivers will be taking it a little bit easier and maybe not picking up as many warnings.
Yeah, possibly so, but you've also got to remember that this track, I mean, turn one, especially if you run in those traction control Gibby, turn one and turn three can really send you in a spin, let's say, because of like the camber and off camber, some parts of the corner are trying to get acceleration out of that corner, can really screw you over, and especially in the wet, Gibby, it can really make that back end so slidey and unresponsive.
Yeah, I mean, I know a lot about slidey tyres around here after yesterday's race.
Yeah.
Having to start with minus 273 degrees in full wet is not fun, especially coming out of that turn 3. But when the tyre temperatures did settle down, I found myself having to short shift all the way up into 5th coming out of that corner. Now, I think some of the drivers on the pad maybe don't have to go to that sort of extreme, but if you can get the power down and you can find the grip coming out of that corner, you can gain so much time. And it'll be interesting to see because down those two straights gives you great opportunities to make an overtake, but then you've also got to defend down that second straight and make sure you get a good exit out of that turn 3. So even though you might have the overspeed and you might be able to get that overtake done into turn 3, it's very easy to come back at someone into turn 4 as long as you get that good exit.
Yeah, definitely so. And I'm just looking through the names and I don't see our Christoph's name anymore. And I'm looking in the Division 2 chat, and apparently he's in the lobby, but he isn't there. So he did lag out, and he did come back in. But I'm not too sure if his car will still be there. I imagine his car's still going to be there.
It is still there, yeah. I believe it should be still there. Obviously, last game, if you did disconnect in between quality and race, I think your car disappeared.
Yeah.
But I believe in this one, the car does stay there. And in fact, you can see him on the race director. So I think his car is still there. I mean, I had that while waiting on the grid yesterday when I disconnected, and it pretty much gave me control of my car during the lights at the start of the race, though I didn't actually have any lights, which was very nice as well. So
they just like to make it hard for you, isn't it, Gibby? That's all it is.
Yeah,
It's just
Codemasters just doesn't love me. Yeah, it's just no love for me there.
I mean, Breezy got really hampered as well by that 5 place grid penalty. He would have been starting in 6th position and currently now in 11th, which boosts ERN Storm into 10th position. Everybody obviously going up a place in between there. So that's a nice little cheeky place there for Storm.
Yeah, and the other thing is this might come back to bite Skeefy, because if it turns out that he was at fault for that, I suspect he'd be getting a penalty, but unfortunately we just did not see what happened there.
No.
But that'll be all the more reason for Skeefy to maybe be pushing in this race, is to make sure he gets a gap in case he does get any penalties for that sort of incident.
Yeah, we are moments away now from the formation lap. Skeefy is on pole from Eke Balova Christoph and D6W as Christoph's AI goes zooming ahead straight away off the start.
Yeah, Christoph bot absolutely going for it. Fantastic formation lap start there. Jumping straight up to P1 and being a McLaren driver, I wouldn't mind seeing that at the actual start as well.
Well, you can only hope. I'm hoping. I'm rooting for my man Nicki Minaj, who's also in one of the Red Bulls. So hopefully, Christoph. I can see him typing in the Discord saying he can't take control. I don't think you can take control on the formation map, can you?
Yeah, you can't. It will just, for me, it wouldn't let me take control. But pretty much as soon as it got to the start sequence, it gave me my car. So hopefully, it'll do the same for him. He just has to be a bit wary not to jump at that start at all.
Yeah, I'm just letting him know that you can't do it on the formation map.
It should give him control back as long as he just hovers over his car. And also, the other thing to make sure you do is just to make sure you're in the cockpit camera as well, because apparently if you're on the off-board camera, it can sometimes cause that weird stuttering lag when you do reconnect to the lobby. But no doubt he'll probably be on his onboard anyway.
Yeah, I've had no issues yet. Touch wood, Gibby. Touch wood. Everybody at home can probably hear me touching my desk. I've had no issues yet with this game. I've seen lots of people having issues, especially RT Racing Division 3 has had so many issues with this game since the start. Constant lagging out, constant frame glitches, can't turn your car, can't look back on your car, you can't do this, you can't do that, and it's insane. You had a minus glitch yesterday with your tyre temperatures. There's so many things wrong with this game, Gibby. Something needs to be done.
Yeah, I mean, we had that big patch last Monday that fixed a load of issues with the game, but there's still, it seems every time they try and fix something, they break 10 other things in the game, and I can't help but feel that maybe Codemasters needs to do some sort of test server or something before these updates come out, because it just seems they make changes and throw it out. But anyway, back to the racing.
Christoph has already set the fastest lap of a 1:42.6, so that's always good to see. The drivers are ready to go up. They're on the grid, and there's a racing point of Stickman. We've got a lobby glitch. We've got a lobby. Oh no! It's lights out and away we go, and everyone's got away there. I don't know what's happened there. Stickman is into first place and sailing away. Skeevy's in second. Raz is already up to third. NRC Island and T-Bag are all the way up. Eke below got a really poor start. Looking further back along the grid, no instance as of yet. There's a McLaren on the grass there, and that was NRC Oz heading now towards turn 3. Both Ferraris looking to try and take advantage of each other there, but nothing's going to happen as there's a McLaren in the braking zone there, and that's Christoph trying to find to get round the Haas there of him as the two Saubers are now close by each other with the Mercedes ahead of Breezy, and here comes Eke Baloba down the inside of Breezy. He's going to get this job done as he sends it down the inside, but the Red Bull of Nicki Minaj is trying to have a little look at that too, but nothing is going to happen on that occasion, and Eke Baloba gets ahead of Breezy.
Yeah, what a strange start there. Stickman just absolutely taking off compared to everyone else. In fact, his car has ghosted for me when I'm on, so I wonder whether it's just a complete glitch of the game. It must be, but that is very odd.
I'm not too sure what happened. Stickman launched before every single other person and didn't get a drive, which is like Skeevy must be looking at the back now of Stickman's car, going, "Hold on a minute, what's going on here?"
Yeah, I think Christoph must have that tyre glitch because he just seems to have absolutely no grip as he sets a 12.6. Look at, just his car's gone. That is, pretty much the exact same thing that happened to me yesterday, which is a real shame to see. Yeah, especially someone with so much pace.
He's got wing damage too, so that's really going to hamper him himself. Just no luck for him this season so far as Matriz and Atelli, them two are battling side by side, and I think Matriz has got ahead there of the Williams. Looking further up the grid, we've got quite a little battle here in the midfield between all behind 7th place of Breezy. We've got Nicki Minaj in this fight, Darko Wade, we've got D6W, we've got Chelsea, we've got Storm, we've got Ramos, we've got Steffi, we've got LH44, Matriz, Atelli and Oz, all behind 7th position.
Raz just loses the rear end, and now Island's going to be right on his tail coming down the main straight. But Island making a good start there, moving up from P7 all the way up to P4. Just as we said, he's always moves up the grid, it seems, in these races. So he's in a good position to maybe get that podium like we were talking about.
Yeah, he really is looking at it. I'm looking at him now, and he's really very, very close to the back of Raz, and Raz is really struggling to get any sort of power down. I was just looking at his back end squirming all over the place, and Ireland now has overtaken Abel. He's definitely going to have a look at sending it down the inside here towards turn 3. Is he able to do it? Raz hangs for the outside, and the Ireland's got the inside. They do touch, and bang wheels at the rear there. Raz coming across Ireland there, and needs to battle, and TVAG goes round the outside of the pair of them and takes P3 away from him.
Yeah, great bit of opportunistic driving there from T-Bag just to get both positions there in one. As now Raz is looking to get the move back on Ireland but can't find the grip. He seems to be really struggling, and that car is very, very on a knife edge. It's quite peaky at the moment, so maybe he's gone for a bit of a dry setup, which is definitely not working out for him at the moment. He's just struggling to get out of the corners there on traction.
Yeah, he really is struggling in that Williams. There was a bit of contact there between Ireland and Raz. Raz nearly losing it because of that contact, but TVAG saw them two squabbling with each other and just took advantage of it. Sailed it down the outside beautifully.
Yeah, I mean, Raz will probably be quite annoyed about that. I think I would be as well, but I don't think that's kind of worthy of a penalty. It's just small contact, no damage to the drivers. It's just racing, unfortunately. But I think he needs to try and get his head down and get to grips with this car, because he's losing so much time. It's both of those Ferraris ahead. Look at the gap already. He's starting to spread out there.
And there goes
Skeefy now gets the move.
Yeah.
The lead. So I don't think Stickman's car's there, because that was a very weird exit he got there. Yeah, in fact, it has disconnected. So I think, in fact, I didn't even notice that it was disconnected. So I'll try and get it back in quickly. But it looks like his AI car just completely jumped the start and got away with that. So.
Yeah, it just legged it. It was like, see you later, I'm off. I might try and take this win without getting any penalties. Sorry. I mean,
yeah.
it was right at the back too, wasn't it? It was pretty much right at the back, if I can remember rightly, because he came right.
Yeah, it was, because he was disqualified from quali. Just see more cars getting past him now.
Yeah, so the grid hopefully should be fixing itself as Ireland is now going through him, and will try and get that job done, as he does, into third position and onto the podium places. Moves the two Ferraris, second and third, a Ferrari 2-3, and now we've got 2.4 seconds to Skeefy ahead. Now I wonder what's going to happen here. Could we see some Ferrari team orders? I don't know. And I wonder also, Gibby, is this race going to dry up in the later stages?
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't seen anything with the weather report other than it was just going to be wet. So
yeah, exactly.
I can only assume it's going to be wet for the entirety of it. Which, if that's the case, it will probably be a one-stop race halfway through. You see Raz now getting past Stickman there. But if that's the case, that could prove a bit of a headache for the two Ferrari boys. Driving so close to one another, having to do a double stack or something like that is going to cost them a lot of time. So I think they will race for position here in case they do need to make that pit stop.
Yeah, definitely so. I mean, there are only 5 temps between each other right now. No, we haven't seen any team orders as of yet. That's LH44 and Natelli. Them two have been battling through turn 3 and then into turn 4. Breesy gets ahead of Stickman and Elliot as it went. Unfortunately, here comes Natelli actually going down the inside of turn 5. Is this going to cause contact? LH44 squirming around in the Renault, and they do make contact there at the rear. It's going to be interesting to see if they can come off. And I think Natelli has got that move done, as Nicki Minaj, in fact, gets Breezy.
And now Matrice getting the move done on LH44 down the inside of the second to last corner. Just about gets that done. Very ambitious move from him there. Oh, as LH taps the back of him.
Here goes Breezy down the inside of turn 1 on Nicki Minaj. Breezy gets it done, and he has got it done, and it's a safety car. A safety car has been deployed, and LH44 is out. You were on board with that, Gibby. Would you like to tell us what happened?
Yeah, I was on board with that there. Unfortunately, LH44 just broke a little bit too late for that final corner, or maybe didn't expect the trees to be slowing down as much as he did, and then just hit the back end and just lost all form of grip. Went flying off the track and into the wall, so unfortunate for him there. He was having a good little battle there with NRT, Ateli and Matrice, so yeah, shame there, but this full course safety car will be super annoying for Skeefy. Had a nice gap at the front, and this is going to bring it all back together now.
Yeah, it's only just going to hurt him out of everybody else, and I'm just looking to see if the rain's easing off. I can see a dry line, but the rain is still falling, so it's going to be interesting to see if it does dry up in the later stages. I mean, with this safety car, it only delays the race even longer. So we could see dry weather at the end. I just don't know. We don't get a picture of the race report. We don't see any weather. We just get told by some of the drivers who like to tell us what's going on. Oh yeah, it's a wet race. We don't know what's happening later on.
Yeah, I mean, the other thing to remember here as well is fresh inters are so much quicker than normal inters as well. So it'll be interesting to see whether anyone goes for an early pit stop to try and take us to the end. As you see Storm coming into the pits now to have a pit stop, this is probably, I'd imagine, if they had wing damage, as it does seem a little bit too early to be changing tyres.
Yeah, Arndt comes in too behind him, and I think I can see a front wing there being changed. Yes, it is. But Arndt doesn't have a front wing, and he would jump Storm now in the pits due to that. So he didn't have a front wing change there, Arndt. So he came in, maybe nothing to lose, being further back anyway. And he knows the safety car, he can catch up to it. So maybe just a smarter idea to maybe go on the fresh tyres.
Yeah, I think that is a smart idea from the pair of them there. I mean, Storm definitely with the wing damage and being near the back anyway, you might as well get a fresh set of tyres and probably quite a bit more grip. I mean, it is lap 7, it will be a notable difference. Just seeing Tetley and the trees going a bit side by side there under the safety car. Yeah, hopefully we won't see any silliness.
Yeah, hopefully not. I was looking at the leaderboard and I saw the move. I was like, what's going on? Ooh, Nicki Minaj! Nicki Minaj trying to heat up the rears. Now I've tried this multiple times, thinking it's never worked out well for me. Look at Spain and Baku, mate. You try and warm up your tyres under the safety car, especially in the wet. I proved that in Baku, you can really just slide away in the car, can just lose its grip and just send you straight into the wall.
Yeah, I'll tell you one driver who is definitely going to benefit massively from this is our Christoph as well. I mean, he may still be at the back of the pack, but I mean, at least he's now on the pack, and can start looking to make overtakes and coming back through the field. I mean, he is a quick driver, so I'd imagine he will be able to get some moves done this race.
I looked through the Division 2 chart, by the way, Gibby. He started on minus 60-degree tyres, so you were correct. He did have a tyre glitch and started on minus 60 degrees.
Yeah, I think it's something to do with just the fact that the AI does your formation map. Like, they just don't seem to bother to, like, even try and weave or get any sort of temperature into your tyres. And for whatever reason, that somehow ends up with you having minus on your tyre temps, which should be impossible. And God knows why that's even coded into the game. I can't imagine why.
It's like the McLaren team put the tyres in the freezer before they went out. Like, it makes zero sense of why even any minus tyre temperature should even be a thing.
Yeah, I mean, it just seems stupid. Maybe they need to change it so that it's just a 0 degree C is the minimum. Because, I mean, at least with that, you can get them up to temp in a reasonable amount of time with glitches like that. Because I could probably almost guarantee you that Codemasters don't even know why that happens either. It's just in the game.
Yeah, definitely so. Codemasters, you confuse me. Every decision you do, in fact, confuses me. You fix an issue, you cause 30 more issues. Why?
I think the bit that I find weird about it as well is, like, say for example you're doing just a Grand Prix mode against other AIs. Do all the AIs have tyre temps like that when you're racing against them? Like, I'd suspect not. It'd probably be around 80, which is the norm.
I don't know.
In fact, I've just seen Christoph come into the pits again now.
So that's going to put him even further behind, unless he did have wing damage.
I don't think he does. I think he's just going for fresh tyres. But a smart move from him as well, being at the back, might as well get fresh tyres, and that's actually probably why he's come in now. He's gone for the latest possible opportunity to do it, because he should still be able to catch up to the back of the pack during this lap. And I imagine the safety car's going to be coming in this lap as well.
Highly likely. I mean, we've got Skeefy there up top currently. He had a 2.5 second gap to TBAG, and he did well there. TBAG did a fantastic move on his teammate of NRC Island in third, and Razwa, them two were having a little bit of a scrap with each other. Eke Glover didn't get the best of starts, but has managed to recover. I think he dropped down to something like 7th or 8th off the start, and he's managed to bring that one back up to P5. A safety car is in this lap, and Skeefy will control the pace here on the restart.
Yeah, so looking into this race, one strategy that I think could be interesting, especially for the bottom three of Arndt, Storm and Christoph, is the fact that they're all on fresh intermediate tyres. I wonder if they'll be able to take those to the end of the race, because if they can, they might get away with this free pit stop here.
Ooh, Nicki Minaj and Breezy had a collision, 5-second time penalty for Nicki Minaj there. So that's not going to help their cause at all. And we know where NRC Island and Skeefy have got history. We saw that in Baku with that scrap to the line. Skeefy goes wide off the restart, and that's really not going to help him. And TBAG is already getting a better exit as he puts it down into overtake. This isn't the best of restarts here from Skeefy, and he's going to be under serious pressure already, heading up probably into turn 3, where his tyres just not warm enough. I'm not 100% sure, but TBAG will definitely be looking at that.
Yeah, Ferrari's looking quick off the restart as well. Island right behind T-Bag as well. Christoph obviously making a position there as Nicky comes into the pits for the new front wing. That's going to be really annoying for him because he's going to be really far off the back now. As Steffi now gets past Stickman, who I think is still DC'd in this race. So I haven't lighted him back, just obviously doesn't want to join back or can't, which is unfortunate.
Patrice and Atelli. Patrice, I think, a bit of contact between Atelli and a bit of a mutual agreement of letting him pass, but Arndt was taking advantage of that. He was saying that you can let him pass, but I'm going to come past too, especially if you let off the throttle. I heard Patrice did let off the throttle to let him pass, maybe a bit of contact there between the two of them, and that's happened. But Darko, Wade and Breezy. Oh, there goes Breezy, in fact. Breezy off the track, down at the hairpin at the bottom of the middle sector, trying to come back on. Oh, he's really struggling to just get a bit of space to come back on the track. Drivers weaving all around him, trying to get round, and he's now gone down to 17th position from 6th.
Yeah, massive shame there for Breezy losing a lot of positions, but on the other hand, very good job at just not causing any further collisions and staying off the track there when at such a low speed. ERN Storm looking feisty behind the trees here, looking for the move and see if we can get a good exit out of turn 1. And he does. This could be a move going into turn 3. This looks slightly further up. Oh, is it just all Raz? He really lost the rear end but managed to keep it together, so very good.
Ooh! Patrice! As Storm goes down the inside of Patrice takes the curb all the way around in the very late braking zone and hangs it around the outside. I thought he was going straight into the back of ERN Storm. That was a bit dangerous, and oh, there's a McLaren gone through. Christoph went straight through Storm, so that makes no sense. Breezy now goes down the inside of Storm, and they both go with Storm. Storm is actually disconnected. Do you want to see if we can get him back in? Because no things are appearing for me at the bottom if people are leaving, so I don't know if people are actually in their cars.
Yeah, I did just notice Storm had a bit of a cross. Oh, as Breezy got sideways out of the corner there, and he's gone for a spin.
Oh,
and some wing damage for his trouble as well.
Oh, and more wing damage, and virtual safety car has been deployed. So he spun the first time he went off track. I think that's in fact in the exact same place where he went off. He's understeering everywhere. He hasn't got a wing. You need to get it into the pits, mate. Oh, and there's a 3-second time penalty for corner cutting. You need to be careful when you don't have a wing, buddy. You really do need to be careful, because that's going to cost you even more. Looking through the field, the two Ferraris have looked very, very feisty since the restart, especially behind Skeefy. Skeefy's not been able to get a gap at all to the two Ferraris. He's been really under pressure as we're now back underway, and NRC Island nearly loses it, trying to step on the loud pedal, but luckily keeps it in check as I look throughout the grid, and I don't see any moves being made as of yet. And the one thing I am gutted about, Gibby, is that I was really looking forward to a dry race here, especially for Division 2. And Division 1 and 2 have both been wet races.
Yeah, as I've just noticed, Storm's car has been off the track, and I think he is back in the session. So again, this game decides to give you control of your car with no lights, so you never know when you are actually going to get control of it again. So I think that's why Storm has gone off there. Yeah, he's gone off again there. It's really unfortunate for Storm during this race. He just can't seem to get any luck at the minute.
Chelsea in the racing point was really, he had two options there. It was either go straight into the back of D6W or go around the outside, and here comes Ramos alongside with Steffi, and Steffi stays ahead. defends the inside line as Ramos tries to take it around the outside. Can he do it? I think Storm has retired in the pitch. Yes, he has. They're side by side now. The Mercedes and the Renault, and Ramos has got ahead there going round the outside of turn 3. That was a really nice, smooth move there from Ramos.
Yeah, nice move from him, and definitely being pinched up against the curb. I was wondering whether he was going to be able to get the traction out of that corner, but he managed to do it. So very impressive move there from Ramos. Yeah,
smooth as you like. He was under pressure from him. He tried to get past in the early stages of the straight leading up to turn 3. Wasn't able to as Steffi came cutting across him, but he managed to do it and get around the outside, and that was a beautiful move of himself. I'm just looking now at the two Ferraris of Ireland and TVAG. I've noticed TVAG may be chopping a slight little bit of time, only very slight, like very minuscule. Ireland has been constantly on the gearbox of TVAG, so I wonder what could happen in the latter stages of this race to see if anything happens between these two Ferraris.
Yeah, I mean, it's so hard to overtake on the way. You're pretty much just banking on the person in front of you making some sort of mistake or struggling or traction out of it. But at the moment, these top 3 have been super consistent with their driving. So just no opportunities arriving for any sort of position changes there. As we look further down the grid, not seeing anyone really close enough to make a move just yet. But yeah, race really starting to settle down a bit now.
Chelsea goes deep. That's going to put Ramos right on the back of his gearbox. Oh, Ramos! Oh, big save from ERN Ramos as I saw him on board there with Chelsea as I was looking back at the Renault. A big slide as he tried to get on the power, and a huge save there from Ramos.
Yeah, good job from him. Really impressive as Chelsea has a little bit of a moment coming out of that corner now. Ramos right up behind Chelsea. Just having a little look for a move in that second to last corner, not quite close enough and not having the overspeed to do it.
Yeah, Steffi's looking involved now.
Trying to do it on the main straight. Yeah.
And there's a 3-second time penalty. 3-second time penalty for Chelsea going wide there, and I'm looking now, and I'm looking at the Mercedes and Steffi. Steffi's waiting for any moment he can to pounce on anything that's happening here. Steffi actually loses it a bit, coming out of that corner. Now that's going to put a telly on the back of the Mercedes in the Williams. Ramos really trying to get past the Racing Point. The Racing Point once again goes deep. He's going to have to come back on the track. This is going to be a safe rejoin. It is a safe rejoin. Ramos gives the space. So that's been done. That reminded me of Hamilton Rosberg a few years ago, Gibby. Where,
minus the contact.
Minus the contacts. We'll see, we're clean here in European race night. That's what we try and do. Just don't go look at Division 3 because, yeah. don't go there in the wet. It's not all clean down there.
Yeah, I mean, it's always challenging in wet conditions trying to get moves done, but so far it's been fairly civil between the Div 2 drivers at the moment in getting past one another. Yeah,
Ramos happy now that he's probably got past the Racing Point. The Racing Point, I've noticed, has been going very wide in a lot of corners to Chelsea, and I'm just going to look if he's got wing damage. He hasn't got wing damage, so maybe he's just not predicting his braking zones correctly.
Yeah, and I think the next move we're probably going to see on this track, the one that I'm looking for anyway, is Darko Wade on Raz. Raz has been making little mistakes here and there as Teddy gets past Steffi, who I think made another mistake coming out of turn 1. So managed to get that move done into turn 3. Good job there from him. But looking at Raz and Darko, Raz seems to keep making these little mistakes and going right, and slowly but surely Darko's been creeping behind him. So Darko will just probably be waiting now for that opportunity to make the move.
Yeah, definitely so. And another big thing is that Skiffy has broken the 1 second gap to TVAG. It's now 1.3 seconds. So you must be looking at this now, looking at this and seeing that if you're NRC Ireland and you're looking ahead of you, you must be thinking, I need to get past my teammate right now because I need to close that gap to Skiffy and I'm only being held up.
Yeah, I mean, I think if I was Ireland at this point, I think in this race, I'm not entirely sure with the tyre wears in wet weather, but I feel like they are going to have to make pit stops to take these tyres to the end. If I was Ireland, I'd be considering having into the pits now, getting that undercut, getting past Teabag, and even potentially getting past Skiffy.
Yellow flag sector 3, and it's Steffi. Sorry to interrupt you there, and he has lost it in the final corner. Does he have wing damage? I can't get an angle as of yet. I think he does have a front left. No, he doesn't have wing damage, so it's a lucky escape. Just went for a little spin there, Gibby.
Yeah, and I mean, this is going to be the crunch time for your tyres. They're going to be really feeling it now 16 laps into the race with relatively high fuel loads. I think now really is the time you probably want to be coming into the pits and getting a fresh set of tyres. I've seen Ireland even dropping back a bit now off teabag there. So, and the other thing as well is I think that's a good way of Ireland getting past teabag without there having to be any team orders if he just goes for the undercut.
Yeah.
And it also pressurises Skeefy to then come into the pits as well. So. It'd be interesting to see whether Ireland does decide to pull into the pits here. Let's have a look.
See if he does. Let's see if any of the Ferraris do. And note they both stay out for another lap. And Darko Wade is 2/10 now behind Raz. That fight. Oh, Raz does pit. Raz comes into the pit. D6W stays out. And I think I saw Ramos come into the pit too. So a lot of people now pitting. Chelsea comes into the pit also. So people now pitting off those tyres. Don't think that they're giving them enough grip anymore, Gibby, and I think you are right with that call. Maybe it is time to swap for fresh tyres.
Yeah, I think the Ferraris are making a huge blunder here by both of them staying out. I mean, both of them are probably going to want to be coming in any lap now, and the last thing you're going to want to do is double stack. I feel like coming in earlier would have helped Ireland especially a lot more, because he would have been able to clear this little bit, well, at least been able to clear teabag in front. I mean, obviously there's always the risk of traffic. I think they'd be alright with the amount of a gap that these top three have at the moment.
Yeah, definitely so. As Nicky Menard, a 7-lap-old Inces gets ahead of Chelsea coming out of the pits there. So that's only going to hamper the racing point. So not the best of races there from Nicky. Unfortunately, hasn't had too much luck on their side this season, but we're looking now at the Ferraris, and TBAG comes in first. TBAG comes in first, and Skeefy is in the pits too. So NRC Ireland will take the lead of this Grand Prix currently, but we still have a long way to go.
Yeah, I mean, on the other hand, Ireland may be able to pull off the overcut on teabag. I mean, he did seem to have a little bit more pace, but I feel like the fresh tyres, you know, they're going to give teabag the pace he needs to keep the position that he has at the moment. In fact, teabag seems to have caught a little bit on Skeefy in this pit, so a very good pit stop there for the Ferrari boys. Yeah, I'm just going to look and see where does Eke Blober come out, because Eke Blober tried to do an undercut there and has come out 4 seconds behind TBAG, so I think has gained a little bit of time there, if I'm correct in saying. I think he's gained a lot of time, because I thought the gap was about 8 seconds back to him. So he's gained massively, I think, out of that. Yeah, that might be a mistake. The undercut is going to be very powerful, especially with a fresh set of inters. It always is. So we should be seeing Ireland coming into the pits now.
That's where Vitelli and Chelsea. Big D6W just got past Chelsea, and Chelsea has lost 2 positions there as Vitelli is going for it down the inside of the AlphaTauri. That's not going to work there, especially a late move like that. And D6W stays ahead on this occasion, and that was a bit of a late lunge there by Vitelli and the Williams. I was going to say, one strategy Ireland could have went for, actually, in fact, as well, is could have stayed out a little bit longer, as Arns is going to be staying on their inters for a bit longer because they have that early pit stop. Yeah. But just looking now, just look at the gains. You know, Skeefy and Teabag already coming out of the first corner. And in fact, he's even been jumped by Christoph. Look at the loss of time that Ireland's had, having to go that extra lap. And Ekebol was only 1.5 seconds behind him now. So the undercut, clearly more powerful than trying to do an overcut here. And I'm just wondering, I think this basically seals the deal now, whether it was going to dry up later on in the race. Because I think some guys may have just tried to drag the inters even longer to try and get the dry tyres on us at the earliest opportunity. But I don't think that is definitely not going to happen though. Yeah, I mean, the driver I'm looking at, and I'll be very impressed if they get these tyres to the end, is Christoph. Yeah. Taking those tyres as late as possible. I think they will be able to, but they'll be absolutely screaming by the end of this race. And he'll probably be hoping for another safety car maybe at some point, just so he can get a free pit stop out of this. He nearly loses it coming out of it, and that's put NRC Ireland right on the back of him. NRC Ireland trying to go side by side into the second to last corner. Is this going to happen? Christoph does give him the space, but Ireland is more smarter than that and doesn't send it there. He knows that is probably one of the most riskiest moves he can do, as Christoph goes wide in and loses it on the exit curve there of the final corner, and that gives NRC Ireland the place, and he's now 3.3 seconds behind his teammate, considering he was only within 5 tenths before all this.
Yeah, so you just see he's always lost about, I'd probably even call it probably like 2 seconds or so, maybe even a little bit more, because obviously he lost time there behind Christoph for that short period of time. But looking in front...
Oh, here comes Ramos on the inside of Raz. Is he going to go for this move? Sorry to interrupt you there, Gibby. He is going to go for this move. He's going down the inside. As the Renault. The Renault's got down the inside of Raz, and he's got that move done on the Williams. That was a really good move there. A very late call and a very late lunge, but it was very clean, and he's got that move done.
Yeah, great stuff from Ramos. Another great move going into turn 3 there. But as I was saying, the likes of Skeefy is now caught up to the back of NRC Arts, who has stayed out on his tyres. So this may be a bit of a lifeline here for Ireland. If Skeefy and T-Bag get stuck behind Arts here, he should be able to catch up relatively quickly.
He's got to hope that they can't get past Arns, and I think Arns is struggling a little bit now on those tyres, especially compared to the fresh tyres of Skeefy. I mean, there already is a 1.1 second gap to TVAG. Obviously, that's not going to really make a difference due to no DRS anymore. So DRS isn't obviously a big thing in this race as much as we would like to see it in Austria, especially in the drive. So that's not really going to hamper Skeefy as much, but it's going to hamper him more and more if he can't get past Arns. He's going to have to use a bit of that battery to just make sure he can clear him.
Yeah, I mean, he's close right up to the back of him now, but there's usually not many overtaking opportunities in this sector too, so it's going to be another sector he's stuck behind as NRC Ireland just dips under the 3 seconds there for a split moment. So he is gaining, he's getting there, but it's going to take probably a few more laps if he is going to catch up to T-Bag and Skeefy in front.
Yeah, definitely so. Skeefy's looking to try and get past. Oh, Chelsea goes a bit wide there, further down, and Nick Minaj had a little look, but he was smarter about it and didn't go for it. Team JG has now actually closed the gap from the second and has got that down to 7 tenths now. So definitely Skeefy could be being hampered here by Arns, and this could turn into a little fight now, being behind the McLaren, and the Ferrari will definitely be trying to look at getting a move done on Skeefy while he tries to get past Arns.
Yeah, and I mean, it would be an impressive job from Arns if he can at least keep these guys behind. It will really play into his strategy as well, because obviously I'd only assume that he's going to try and take these inters to the end in this race, because obviously he's got the track position at the moment. But if he can hold these guys up behind and maybe bunch up the pack a bit, it gives him a fantastic opportunity to get some good points here.
Yeah, it definitely does, in fact. And if the safety car comes out, he's also in perfect playing field there. The exact same with Christoph. Both McLarens trying to go very long here, and Skeefy just doesn't seem to get close to the back. It's like close enough to the back of the McLaren to try and get past and try and clear him, compared to TBAG, who's now right behind.
Yeah, I mean, I think what Skeefy needs to do, but obviously he won't know it, is he really needs to burn the battery. He's got way more battery as Arns.
He goes around the outside.
Into the pits.
Yes, he does. He goes pulling into the pits. It was a good read by Skeefy, but it's also not going to help him now that Ferrari is right on the back of him.
Yeah, so Ireland's managed to close that gap down to, I think it's about two seconds, I think. Yeah, he's closed it down to about 2 seconds, so he can now see the Ferrari in front of him. He knows where he needs to go as T-Bag picks up the 3 second time penalty there. That will not be good for the later stages of this race. But Ireland now, he can see where he needs to be, he can see his target, and now he has something to properly chase. Yeah, I'm just on board now with Darko Wade, not Darko Wade, Eke Belova, sorry, currently in 5th. Right behind our Christoph, as Christoph nearly loses the rear end there, going through turn 3, and on those older tyres. And Ekeblom is going to want to get this move done and clear here himself. Is he going to go down the inside of turn 4? This is going to be a very risky move if he goes for this. He does get left the space, and he does stick his car there. There's a bit of contact, and Ekeblom nearly loses the rear of that contact. But he stays in 5th for now, and another lap he's going to have to wait to get past. Yeah, so NLC Arns after that pit stop has come back out in P12, so just outside the point scoring positions. But on those fresh intermediate tyres, they're only about five laps fresher than the cars in front, but there's a nice little group in front of him. I'm sure he'll be able to catch, and then he'll just need to make those moves.
Yeah, definitely so, and I'm just still on board with Eki Blober, and he's looking to try and get past at any available opportunity he can. He's only 1.2, 0.1. In fact, now he's going for it. It didn't go down then. 0.06 seconds. I can't go on board with him, Gibby. It's got the engine glitch for me, and that will deafen everybody's ears.
Yes. But just looking there, it was quite smart from Ake just to back off a bit, going down the main straight, because if you're too close to the car behind you, just don't get any gains from the slipstream. So it's a very good exit, and nearly goes into the back of Christoph coming out of turn 3 there. So luckily he didn't get any wing damage out of that, but he's got to be so frustrated right now getting held up here by McLaren.
Yep, definitely so. I mean, he needs to get past as soon as possible. He can go and close that gap. I mean, he's 5 seconds down to Christoph. He's had a good qualifying. He didn't have the best of starts, but he had a good recovery drive from his start, and he's got himself into 5th. And Christoph's trying to take this as long as he possibly can. There's still 11 laps to go.
As Christoph makes a mistake, and here comes Eke.
And there he goes.
On the inside, going into the second to last corner. So there we are. There was the opportunity that he needed to get that move done. Now, Ramos will be all over the back of Christoph, as I think Christoph is coming into the pits. Yeah. So no need for another overtake from Ramos there as Christoph pulls into the pits. But I'm not sure if Christoph will be able to salvage any points out of this race, unfortunately, after that horrible start. But we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously not his fault. The game has really screwed him over a little bit there, Gibby, and it's a big shame. Like, something like that, where you know it isn't out of your control, just really does get your blood boiling at one point.
Yeah, it is incredibly frustrating.
But here goes Dargo Wade and Raz. Them two have been battling with each other most of this race, and Dargo Wade had a little luck, but didn't get that move done on the Williams, and there seems to be a bit more grip around the outside of that turn 3 there than it is on the inside.
Yeah, it might just be a matter of fact of getting a bit of water in your tyres and cooling them down, because obviously if you're on the drier line, you are burning out the tyres a bit more, so sometimes just going a little bit offline, getting into that into the water itself and cooling the tyres off a bit can be very beneficial for the grip that you have later on. As we see now, Steffi and Matrice going wheel to wheel. Steffi looking for a move on the outside, but there's no space there as Matrice gets it done. So great stuff from those two there.
In the dry, that corner really can be an overtaking corner where they just were. I think is it turn 6? I think it is.
Steffi just gets on the curb, nearly losing it. Good job on throwing that into the wall. But yeah, you are right. That corner there, I think it is. Yeah, turn up. It is turn 6, I think.
I think because there's a couple of kinks that was actually classed as a corner here, aren't they? And I'm just looking on board now with the helicopter camera. NRC Ireland is now 4 tenths behind his teammate, and will be looking to try and get past once again. I mean, we do know he has got a 3-second time penalty. Will that come into effect? I don't think Skeepy's got any, but we don't like to have a look at Gibby. We like to be surprised at the end of the race, which is to see what's going on.
Of course, and I think if I was Mattia Bonotto right now, I would be screaming all sorts of Italian words to let Ireland go, and because Ireland seems to be on a bit of a roll here. I mean, the way he's caught up to Teabag may have the pace to possibly challenge Skeefy. And of course, if Skeefy does get that 3-second time, and does get a 3-second time penalty, Ireland may be within range to take the win here. So it'll be interesting to see whether there are any team orders between the Ferrari guys, because at this stage in the race, there's no point fighting for position. At this point, it's almost set and sealed at the moment that Teabag will get P3 with that 3-second time penalty. Yeah. I don't think I've seen Ireland get a penalty, so I believe he is free. He's got a very good exit.
Yeah, he did. He got a very big exit there. He's got overtake, doesn't go in the slipstream, and is he going to try and send it here into turn 3? He has a look, he does have a look, and he is going for it into turn 3, and there's the move done. Ireland goes through so far, but I think Teabag got a better exit. Once again, the outside line proving to have the most grip there, but NRC Ireland does stay ahead, uses a bit of battery, and does get ahead of his teammate on that occasion.
Yeah, so it didn't look like there was any team orders there, but I mean the moves went down, which is what's important. But unfortunately in doing that, it looks like they lost nearly about 8 tenths through doing something like that. So Ireland's got a lot of work to do if he does want to catch up to Skeefy and possibly go for this race win. Yeah,
definitely so. And you were talking about Mattia Bonotto saying if obviously you were him right now, you'd be doing a lot of Italian swearing, and if I was Mattia Bonotto right now, I would have already stepped down from the absolute cluster that he has done at Ferrari for the past couple of years.
Yeah, I mean, it's always a difficult one in actual F1 to know what's properly going on behind the scenes, but I feel like Mattia Bonotto has been at Ferrari for an age. He obviously knows
been,
how the team works, but I can't help but feel like it's the upper end of Ferrari support.
Yeah.
It's not, because I'm pretty sure he's head of performance as well as being the team boss. It seems like he maybe just has too much on his plate at this time. But just looking at NRC Ireland, already gained 3/10 on Skeefy there, so he is pushing, he is going for it, and it looks like he is getting into possibly a battle in the dying laps of this race.
Yeah, definitely. So, I mean, just going back to Ferrari there. Now, welcome to Ferrari Chat Shop, ladies and gentlemen. We're just going to have a little discussion here about actual F1. With Ferrari, I mean, it could be the upper hand of the management, because if we look back to when it was Ross Brawn in charge along with Michael Schumacher and Barrichello at the team, they shielded themselves from the upper management of Ferrari. That was a fact in the contract. They were not allowed to get involved with the team. Now, since then, they have got back involved, obviously, once Braun left, because they could, because the contract was over, and ever since then, it's just been a complete, utter failure.
Yeah, I mean, thinking that their last championship was back in 2007 with Kimi Räikkönen.
Yeah.
Being one of the most, you know...
And nearly getting beat by the rookie that year of Lewis Hamilton.
Yeah, as well. It's one of those teams that spends so much on Formula One, which never seems to quite get the results. And I mean, they're always at the forefront, but it would be nice to see Ferrari starting to challenge for wins again. You know, in Formula One, it's not good for the sport having Mercedes dominate on their own.
Yeah, the one
but
thing
obviously Ferrari needs to bring that challenge, don't they?
Yeah, they definitely do. I mean, the one thing that I did read was that Ferrari spend nearly double the amount that Mercedes do in Formula One, but out of all the years that I've, like the recent years that I've got back into Formula One, because I left a little bit around like the 2012 season, 2013, I left a little bit from there, and there's a car off back for, let's go back to the actual racing. It's Steffi in 15th as we talk about Mercedes actually. He's had a little bit of a spin, so clearly not liking that wet weather, and he's got more wing damage once again, so it looks like it's going to be...
Nicky has a puncture.
Nicky has a puncture? 19... Oh, and it's gone! What, is it the rear? I can't...
It's the rear left.
Yes,
rear
I
left
can see. Yes. I can see. Oh, and Steffi's approaching. Steffi has to cut the inside line. 19 lap old intermediate, and Nicki Minaj gets a puncture here. I mean, it is. Oh, there he goes again. Oh dear, that's his race definitely 100% over. He did try to take it as long as he possibly could, and that's really not worked out for him. That's a big shame there.
Yeah, it's especially difficult in these wet conditions. I mean, it's so traction heavy that you're constantly spinning those rear tyres. Definitely a lot more rear load on the tyres than you're getting on the fronts. Yeah, a huge shame for Nicky there at the end of this race.
As we go further up, Patelli and D6W, them two are scrapping ahead with each other. They're going into turn 5 now and then headed now into turn 6. The Williams got the inside line, the Alpha Tauri's got the outside line. What's going to happen here? These two have been together all race, and Patelli stays ahead in P8 currently, and that was a close call, because in the dry, that corner is actually a fantastic overtaking corner, Gibby, but in the wet, it is risky and dangerous as hell.
Yeah, it is one of those corners that you can run side by side through as long as the drivers are both willing to do so. But now we see with these two battling, Chelsea in behind in P10. It's caught into the back of this battle here, so they'll be looking to pick up any scraps that they can on the tail end of this. Just looking at the front again, it seems like Ireland's not really being able to close in that gap at all. It's just watching Skeefy lap Stickman's car again there.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a shame. Might have been able to see a bit of a battle at the front of the grid, but I won't say anything yet. There's still 4 laps to go, and anything can happen. It is wet racing in ERN Division 2.
I mean, we've had 2 wet races here in Austria, and Austria was one of those tracks for this entire season. I've been really looking forward to the overtaking manoeuvres that we see. You know, DRS really becoming that powerful, you know, like down the straights, and due to the rain and the weather, and it's really not cooked up as much as I was expecting, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, we've still seen some great action today.
No, we can't. No.
Overtaking. It's been I've been very impressed actually, in fact, with the level of driving in Div 2. Usually whenever I see wet weather, I'm like, oh, here we go, it's going to be absolute chaos.
Yeah.
But no, there hasn't been too much in terms of incidents between drivers, and not too much damage between drivers either, so I think a good job from everyone all round.
I mean, I was looking forward to this, obviously. I mean, I'm not doubting everybody who's racing. Oh, D6W gets it really wrong, and here comes Chelsea straight away, taking advantage way before turn 3. D6W is going to try and have a look back around the inside. He is going to try and have a look back around the inside. The Racing Point's got the inside line here, and the Racing Point stays ahead as and cuts the outside line off instantly, so D6W doesn't get that grip. But D6W is trying to get the slipstream and heading towards turn 4 now. Here they go. D6W with the outside line and inside line. It's got Chelsea. Here they go down the inside line. They take a bit of curve there, Chelsea. Sliding along the curve at the apex. And Chelsea stays ahead with a little bit of contact on D6W there. And Arts is going to be looking to take advantage of this at any moment in time.
Yeah, nice stuff here. Impressive stuff from all the guys here in Div 2, but it seems like a lot of times when there's a battle going on, there always seems to be someone who comes in and then just starts lurking in the background, waiting for these sorts of opportunities to make moves. First it was Chelsea on D6W and Ateti, and now it's Arts on D6W and Chelsea.
Yeah, definitely so. I mean, I think it refers to a meme that me and you that we all use in Among Us. You're naughty, you're teasing me, you're naughty.
Just see it technically picking up a 3-second time penalty there. So that could prove to be costly.
Oh, there goes D6W down the inside in turn 3. He's gone for it. That was a bit of a lunge and very late on the brakes, and he's got that move done. But here comes Chelsea now. He's going to try and fight back. He's got in the slipstream, but I don't think he's going to be quick enough. And Darko Wade has gone down the inside of Raz, down into P4, turn 4, and has moved up into P6. So it's a Sauber 5-6 there, and that's really good work from themselves.
Yeah, fantastic job from those guys. But just looking at this battle between Chelsea and D6, they're really fighting for these final positions in this race to get. They're pretty much fighting over 2 points, but it's good to see that they're fighting this hard over any form of points in this championship. Yeah,
and Arndt will be looking to try and get into those points as well. He's currently in 11th position, and he sees crucially 2 points ahead of him with P9 and D6W, and he's just running Chelsea and D6W maybe to try and come together, as Chelsea gets a 3-second time penalty, and I think that's his second one if I remember rightly, so that should put Arndt into the points if he hasn't got any penalties.
Yep, it all depends on what the penalty situation will be at the end of this race, but at the moment it's not looking like Arndt has the pace, in fact, to make a move on Chelsea or D6W at the moment. So I think he is going to have to bank on possibly getting one of those penalties to move him up those positions.
Yeah, definitely. So as we're heading towards the final lap of the race now, Skiffy just wants to come around the final corner. He's heading towards the line, which will start our final lap. A lot of gaps spread out across the field. We've got the 2 Williamses together currently, and there's a yellow flag down there, and I am not 100% too sure what that was for.
I think it might have been for a slow car. I believe it might possibly be Stickman's. No, I don't think it was. I'm not sure. I think there's possibly Stickman's car being lapped. I'm not too sure, because I have seen a few yellow flags sort of appear during those sorts of when people are making the move.
Yeah, definitely. So is Nick Minaj, just 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings, but we still have the fight here of the 2 Williams drivers. Artelli is trying to get close to the back of Raz here. They'll be dumping absolutely everything into their ERS, considering it's the last lap of the race. And Artelli gets a really good exit, in fact, and is already close behind his teammate. He's now within a 10th of him, and is he going to look for it down into turn 4? It's the only opportunity you might get unless he makes a big mistake. But it looks like it's going to stay this way now until the end of the race, and it's going to be down to penalties as we go further ahead to the top of the field in the Haas. Skiffy takes P1 here in Austria, followed by NRC Oz, and TBHG crosses the line in P3. It's a 2-3 for the Ferrari team. ERN Ramos will come across the line in P4. Eke Baloba and Darko Wade 5 and 6 for them too. The two Saubers, good result for them too. The two Williams in 7th.
Oh, it's Arns. Arns has made a move for P10 in the second to last corner. Sorry to interrupt you there. But on the final lap, Arns has managed to get the move done for P10.
Madness, and he moves up
P9.
He moves up another place. He goes into P9. I didn't even see that. And look how close it was between the two teammates of Darko Wade and Eki Belova. Less than a tenth of a second separate them two on penalties.
Great stuff. Really kicked off at the end, didn't it?
It really did. It really did. Wow, 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 wow. But Skeefy, you are the winner of the Austrian Grand Prix. Didn't have the best of races last week in France, where he decided to use his wheel. But we saw he had a fantastic battle with Ireland in Baku for that sprint to the line, Gibby. And now this week, he does take P1, and amazingly, Gibby, it stopped raining for the podium celebrations there. How convenient that is.
Yeah, it stopped raining, but it's now raining champagne, funnily enough.
Yes.
So, yes, they may be in the drive at the moment. But, yeah, good to see Skeefy putting up a challenge there for P1. The other thing is that we didn't mention, driver of the day. We completely forgot about that with all the action going on the track, and for me, it's ERN Ramos. I mean, he pulled off some fantastic overtakes in that race and managed to claw his way all the way up into P4. So for me, it's Ramos.
I completely agree. He didn't even get a penalty during that entire race. He was always lingering. Darko did a very good job as well. So did the two, both Saubers, in fact, did a fantastic job. I thought Eki Belova, unfortunately, falling from second on the grid down to 6th. But Ramos, I'll agree with Ramos give him the driver of the day today. I would do an interview, Gibby, but I have to go as soon as we've done this, so I don't have time to do an interview today, unfortunately.
No worries, no worries. I was going to suggest that we maybe get Ramos and Skeefy in for interviews, but if you don't have time, that is totally fine. Yeah,
I do apologise, ladies and gentlemen, who would want to hear from them. I'm pressed for time as it is, unfortunately, but I do have to go. But anyway, that wraps up European Race Night Division 2 here at Spielberg, Austria. A beautiful track as always. We have Division 3 tomorrow at the same time at 7:30. I'm praying it's going to be dry. Please just be dry. It'll be nice. It'll be calm. I can chill, not be in this hectic of wet weather for tomorrow. But I'm really hoping it's going to be dry. I've been Dame Zero, alongside me, Mr. ERN Gibby. We hope you have enjoyed as much as we did with that race, Gibby.
Yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed that. Great wet racing from Div 2 guys, and look forward to seeing everyone next week for another week of Div 2 action.
Indeed, really looking forward to it. On to Silverstone next, and we'll catch you tomorrow for Division 3. Bye bye from us all. We'll see you.